Hey guys, Steven here, Fanatic Perspective. I know I hit y'all with some rough news yesterday with the CJ Baxter video and my concerns and just trying to weather the storm there. Prayers up to CJ and getting well. But today I'm going to hit y'all with some Kool-Aid. Quinn Ewers is going to be in New York for the Heisman ceremony as a finalist at the minimum with what I believe is a situation set up perfectly for somebody of his talent, with his mindset and experience that he has so far in college football. So y'all tap in and hit that like button, subscribe, especially if you're a Texas fan. I know y'all looking for some Kool-Aid, and this is stuff that I actually mean. So it's not fluff or anything. And if you're a opposing fan, again, sincerely, I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. Quinn is now entering his third year in a Steve Sarkeesian offense. And that is my point right there. Because if you understand what Steve Sarkeesian does, the longer he has quarterbacks, same guys, especially talented guys in his system, he freaking produces. So Quinn Ewers is now in year 3 in Steve Sarkeesian's offense. Okay? I'm about to sound like Dr. Umar. Quinn Ewers is now in year 3 of Steve Sarkeesian's offense. Go back 22 years when he had Carson Palmer. Look what he did. USC 2002, won the Heisman. Dude had struggled most of his college career as a very highly touted prospect coming out of high school, very similar to Quinn. Ends up going number 1, has a very, very good NFL career. Matt Leinart, we don't need to even go into a whole lot of detail about how great Matt Leinart was at USC and the legendary career that he had. His numbers till this day still hold up in the modern passing era. Steve went to Oakland for a little bit. Then he came back to USC and got Mark Sanchez. And he only got 1 year with Mark because Mark sat for a couple years. But again, year 3 in his system as whether you want to call him a true junior or a redshirt sophomore. And Mark Sanchez puts up 33-10 touchdown interception ratio, 3,500 plus passing yards, 67, 68% completion percentage, has an amazing year and goes top 5 in the draft to the New York Jets. And goes to Washington and takes Jake Locker and turns him into a top 10 pick. And he's was never as polished as anyone like a Quinn Ewers or anybody we have. And Keith Price after that. Keith Price had been in the Washington system for a little bit behind Jake Locker, and he rattles off his best year at Washington with under Sark. Cody Kessler when he goes to USC. Tua when he gets to Alabama. Mac Jones is probably the most recent big name that he transformed, who was really a 3-star out of Jacksonville. And he turned him into a Heisman finalist, but his receiver ended up winning the Heisman and Devontae Smith. Since he's been at Texas, look, year 1, he inherits Casey Thompson and Hudson Card. Both of those guys, is what it is. The following year is when they get Quinn. And ever since then, he's been grooming Quinn to this point. Now, last year was on and popping, and Quinn was good, not great. All right? Quinn was good, not great. But here's what was good. The good that Quinn had was still some of the best quarterback play we have had at Texas. And it's kind of sad to say in the modern passing era, but it's the reality of the situation. I mean, statistically, Vince had 1 great passing year, and then Colt McCoy is really the prolific passer when you look at 3,500, passing yard seasons and 30-plus touchdowns, and Colt hitting that 36 touchdown mark in 2008, which is a school record. That's something that I believe Quinn Ewers can break in year 3 with Steve Sarkeesian, considering everything that's around him. I'm going to break down what's around him, but again, we're talking big picture context right now, because from a Texas standpoint, the only other person that has heavy statistical output at the quarterback position over a sustained period of time is my guy Sam Ehlinger, who who I love, Sam, and was a warrior, and I always called him General Ellinger, and I still have that respect for him. But it was always somebody else on the other side that had a little bit more or did a little bit more, and that's not all on Sam. That was a function of the school. But when you look at Sam versus goes for 400 against LSU, but Joe Burrow throws for damn near 500, right? That's it. Just there was always somebody on the other end that was just a little bit better. But Sam put up hella numbers and had a remarkable statistical career at Texas. Now we're here for wins and to win championships, but a byproduct of that is the statistical output if you're doing your job properly and you're rocking and rolling under Steve Sarkeesian in year 3. And now for the first time at Texas, Sark has a quarterback in his 3rd year of his system. Now, what does that mean? Control at the line of scrimmage, taking authority of the offense and taking ownership of the offense. And you're marrying this with a center that you've had the entire time. Shoot, Jake Majors was here, 10 years before you got here, and he's been your center the whole time. So you have perfect comms there. You have a left tackle that you've always had that is the best in the country. I have him over Will Campbell. That's just me. And is going to be a top 5 pick in the NFL draft next year, who's one of the best natural pass pro guys in the last few years. The rest of the offensive line, tons of experience and tons of upside on top of depth. I know we had the running back issue go down. That's more of a reason why Quinn needs to step up and take up that burden. But that means more opportunities for greatness and to carry this football team, especially early in the season. New receivers. We just sent 4 pass catchers to the NFL. Thank you, Sark's offense. And 2 running backs to the NFL. So 6 offensive guys that were catching passes last year are now gone. And I'm saying we're going to ascend. With those guys, again, we set the school record for most yards thrown, most passing yards in the season. When you add on Malik Murphy, Xavier Worthy, Savion Red, and Arch Manning stats all together, they actually surpass Colt McCoy's 2008 season of 4,008 yards as a team or as a total team. So that was what good looked like. What does great look like with the speedsters that I have here and the group that's been put together that should be able to dominate yards after catch, should be able to dominate in the screen game. And now with a developed, mature quarterback who's taking ownership, this is his football team. Oh, we're going to be able to dial it up down the field as well. And I think one of the things that people will be very, very, very impressed with this year is Quinn's command of operating down the field more. He's already been one of the best, more proficient guys from a screen, short, intermediate, those type of things. We know he's wowed the NFL scouts with his ability to push the ball outside the numbers and drop the ball in a bucket. He can do that all day long. I think this is the year that he just puts it together. I think he's in the right place mentally. I see physically he's now found that good balance of adding on good weight but not being too chubby to where you can't move. I questioned Quinn's athleticism last year. We questioned his ability to hit deep balls consistently and have good, proper footwork. Look, if the footwork is on point, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It's still college. These are still college prospects. I'm not saying it has to be perfect, but if it's consistent and we are now sound decision makers and we show that same growth from 2022 freshman year to 2023 sophomore year into 2024 junior year, he's going to be in New York. With this group of receivers, with the depth that Texas has, with the depth that we have on the offensive line, and Steve Sarkeesian being the mastermind behind all of this, proof is in the pudding with what he's done. He has shown y'all multiple times over 20 years what he will do with a talented quarterback in year 3. And Quinn Ewers is no different. And guess what? Steve has set this thing up to where that's going to become the standard, because guess what next year is? Arch Manning, year 3 in the Texas program under Steve Sarkeesian. And that's how proper quarterback development can be strung along. And this is starting to remind me of what he learned under Pete Carroll in the 2000s at USC with the lineage that they had there with Carson, Matt on the mark, right? And just having fantastic quarterback play really until those guys weren't no longer at USC, including Pete Carroll. So that's what Sark is building here at Texas. It's exciting to see. I think the statistical output that we already saw last year is actually underrated. And now with him hopefully remaining healthy, playing in playoff games, you're going to see a guy, potentially threaten 40 touchdown passes this year and be well over 4,000 yards passing and still maintaining high efficiency in between 67 to 70% completion percentage and winning football games, right? So y'all chime in. Let me know in the comments what you think. If I'm gassing it up too much, if you think Quinn is going to be him this year, if you think Archer's going to replace him by the OU game, if you think that, Sark that I'm overrating Sark, let me know what you think. Because look, you can talk about Sark as head coach, but that man knows quarterbacks, that man knows offense. That's one thing I do not question with him. And I mean, you go look at Casey Thompson's touchdown to interception ratio just in 1 year, like compared to other Texas quarterbacks over the years and whatnot. And like I said, go look back at Quinn's touchdown interception ratio even last year. With the experience that he has now, it's coming. That overflow, that output is coming, and I'm excited to see it. Hit the like button, subscribe, whole bit. Love you guys. I'll be back with more. Horns always up. Hook 'em.